Let's go. I'm better than ever, they never been better than I. Regarded the hardest and I ain't even reaching my prime. They hate that I'm great and they faking I'm real as they come. So sit back and let me show you how the shit is done. My composition, our propositions, I'm raping the system. I'm killing the competition and all of y'all are my victims. Eyes and oohs as I'm ripping the instrumental. Lyrical, individual, never been sentimental. I'm so hot every time that beat drop. And when I say I'm raping the system.
What is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy FightNightsFinest. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Look at this guy right here. He trying to be slick with it though. And I knew it was coming. That's why I went to go hit record right now. Like, if you're gonna fight with Ray Robinson, look, now he don't want to fight. Ninja Picker caught in action. I hope somebody caught his name. I didn't get to see it, but I hope somebody caught his name. Avoid that guy. And I knew he was gonna do it. I knew he was gonna set up that ninja pick. What is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy FightNightsFinest, the social commentator, back on another Fight Night Champion online ranked match. This one, Julio Cesar Chavez against Miguel Cotto. We're going to take a quick break from the road to the top 100 series in OWC because I want to address a comment that I saw in my comment section on one of my OWC videos. And I think it would be a good topic to talk about. If anybody else, has anything that they want me to talk about, please leave it in the comment section below and I'll have no problem covering it in a video. Anyway, one of my most active subscribers in the comment section has been FlexB123. He's been a guy who I've seen months ago, just always leaving detailed comments, sharing his match experience with me. There's quite a few active subscribers that I have in the comment section, but I think he brings up a topic that should be brought up to everybody. It's in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Well, it was there moments ago. I know it was kind of hard to read, so I'll repeat it and read it out loud to you guys. Hey, FightNightsFinest. After fighting a plethora of the elite and top-ranked opponents, Alien, Kenny, Skate 4, I Pound for Pound, Once, etc., I've been almost forced to shut my jab down. It was always my main punch. But most of those guys advised me to stop using it if I want to win. Since it's somewhat easy to counter and doesn't do enough damage to warrant losing any stamina from throwing it. I'm a boxing fan though, but I have come to realize you have to treat Fight Night Champion as a fighting game over just a boxing game. It kind of goes against my beliefs into fighting proper boxing in quotations. But against guys like that, you really can't throw too much without it hurting you. EA made it too easy to counter jabs, especially for those that love the step counters. What are your thoughts on it though? Also realize it doesn't score well. You can outland someone by a wide margin, but if you mainly land your jab, saying 60% of the time, you'll lose against the guy throwing more straights, uppercuts, etc., or powers, shots to the body even. My thoughts on this is, for one, I don't consider any of those guys that you just mentioned elite fighters. And the reason why I don't believe they're elite fighters, despite how good their records may be, is the fact that those guys exploit the games. Those are the people who sidestep uppercut, only throw the straight right hand. Those are the type of fighters that you really don't want to emulate after. I feel like they take advantage of what the game allows you to do, which isn't bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with throwing a step uppercut, a back step straight, a power straight every now and again. But you do have to realize this. There comes a point into the game where you have to realize sports games are simulations to actual sports. Like boxing, Fight Night Champion is a simulation to boxing games. NBA 2K14, NBA Live are simulations to basketball games. NHL hockey is, a simulation to hockey. And also FIFA is simulation to World Soccer. So you gotta think about it in this retrospect. Sport games are supposed to emulate what actually goes into a sport, and have fun with, everybody's not capable of playing sports or can't play sports at an elite level, or sometimes just want to play as their favorite players. So sport games were always designed for people to play as if the actual sport counts. Now we all know video games tend to bend reality, so you can do certain things in video games that you can't do in real sports or in real life for the most part. So when it comes down to you seeing guys who only throw straight right hands, sidestep uppercuts, you know, always going at each other's throats, and you know, a lot of them who consider themselves to be elite fighters, but at the same time have to take advantage of 100 reflexes with a Philly shell block, or have oversized calf fighters, you know, or calf fighters in UFC, from what I learned from watching my boy Sakuraba 1982, is, you know, oversized creative fighters. Fighters who have to take advantage of those things and take advantage of, you know, 100 power and knowing how the scorecards and stuff work. I feel like they have a good balance of understanding the game, understand what it is that the judges' scorecards will look for. They have a good idea of how to win the game, how to win on the game, but they disrespect the sport. And if you can't respect the sport and win at the same time, you can't be considered an elite fighter. Also, if you cancel out all those parts of the game that were designed for the game, you only use certain aspects of the game, then you're disrespecting not only the game, but you haven't mastered all the different aspects of the game, which can't make you an elite fighter. You're not a jack of all trades, therefore you're not considered an elite fighter, at least in my book. Maybe some other people see different. People see a guy maybe with 2,000 wins and only 100 losses, and they think that they're, you know, one of the greatest fighters in the game, but there's a way to win and there's a certain way on how you win. A lot of people don't respect certain people who win in a certain manner. It's just like any boxer who gets a cheap decision even though he truly lost the fight. Take Brian Vera versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., where Brian Vera in the first meeting clearly won that fight, but they gave it to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just because Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was the bigger name. So that's how I pretty much look at it. It's like this guy who just tried to ninja pick me in the clip that I showed you guys in the beginning, where he could have had probably an excellent record. Or, you know, there's been many times where we come across ninja pickers in the past where we see this guy has a fantastic record, but just because of the fact he's got a cheap advantage, he got that 20-pound weight difference at a fighter fighting at 140 pounds comparing to a fighter who fights at 160 pounds. Or he came across a guy with a 13-pound weight advantage fighting a guy with 147 over 160. Also, a lot of the elite players, you know, they only pick the overpowered boxers. They pick the Frosses, they pick the Mike Tysons, they pick the Robinsons, they pick the Bishops, the Pernell Whitakers. You know, they pick the overpowered boxers. So how elite must you be if you can't take, for example, a fighter like Kendall Holt and go up against a Ricky Hatton, and you can compete at a high level and still display some high level skills where you can show different combinations, you can show the outside footwork, the inside game, the counter punching ability, the inside ability. Those are true fighters. Those are true elite fighters. Fighters who can put every different aspect into the game and can adjust. Not a guy who's just going to go in there and throw a sidestep uppercut, throw a back step straight, or throw a power, you know, power shot downstairs to the body and spam those moves in order to pick up quick wins and take advantage of flaws that are in the game and exploit the game. That's not an elite fighter. Any person who tells you don't use your jab because your jab it won't be considered effective on the judges' scorecards is, you know, I don't want to call them a fool or anything, but I feel like they don't understand the sport of boxing. That's like your trainer in real life telling you, regardless of whether your jab's being countered or not, stop using your jab because it's being countered. The difference that you have to make, and the adjustment that you will have to make, is where you place this jab. Where do you use this jab? I know it may not be the most effective punch, but that doesn't mean you get rid of it out of your arsenal. Just because your head movement isn't working to the greatest extent because you're overusing it, doesn't mean that you stop moving your head in a fight. It doesn't make any sense for anybody to tell you not to use something because it may not be effective against people who constantly step spam. The thing with step spam is they can't counter punch, they can't time counter, so they constantly stepping. All you have to do is just place that jab after a step occurs. You gotta figure out ways to where you can implement everything into the game. Now, some things you gotta get away from. I'm not saying if, you know, the power straight is working against you, that you gotta stop using the power straight because it's not being effective. The point is that you can use the power straight, you just gotta figure out where can I place it. I may need to start using more of my jab, or start using more of a left hook, or more left uppercuts, or even apply more pressure. You got to figure out different ways that you can implement the things that you already know how to do and the core aspects of the game. And you being able to adjust and being able to use those things is what's going to make you a true elite fighter. So that's basically my opinion on that, and you know, just my thoughts on just the game and how I feel certain people play it. And in all honesty, I don't think any of those guys are elite fighters. Let's hop up into this match real quick. We got Julio Cesar Chavez. I'm dominating this fight. I believe I caught up to 4 knockdowns at this point in the fight. And you know, we got in a couple of chin checks. Some good cold clock moments, some good solid defense. We've been able to apply pressure. We've been countered quite a bit during this fight, but also we was able to do the damage that we need to do. And with Cotto having that, you know, having that punch style with the speed punch style, it kind of makes forward for him to have more compact punches. And Julio Cesar Chavez just having slower punching speed than Miguel Cotto also does give him that advantage. You know, that animations of how Chavez's punches come out, it hasn't always fared me well on the inside for the most part. This fight was originally actually a live fight Friday, but I decided to use the gameplay because I thought the commentary wasn't up to standards, and he's no longer able to stand after 2 gut-wrenching punches downstairs to the body, that Mickey Ward style left hook downstairs to the body, followed by the right hook. And that's going to be the 5th and final knockdown of this fight. If you guys enjoyed the commentary, please leave a like on it. Also, if you have some thoughts or have something that you would like me to discuss in a future video, leave a comment section and one of your comments could possibly be posted in a future video. Also, follow me on Twitter. It's on the bottom of my watermark at FightNightsFinest. Also, check out those guys in the description. They're great commentators and great video producers. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel by now and you like what you see, please go ahead and do so. Anyway, we're able to pick up this win by knockout. It's been your boy, FightNightsFinest, the Sofa Commentator, and I'm off this. Peace!